Good evening. I don't usually do this, but I felt moved to bring something to your attention during a conversation that I was having with the Lord. He began to show me some things from a different perspective regarding love and relationships. In particular, men and their relationship and their union with their spouse or their significant other. A lot of times I hear men, especially, speak on women being their peace and how they are in search of this, spectacular woman that can bring him nothing but peace. I've had a few different friends, people that I know on my Facebook page, social media sites, where the emphasis is always, always, always a woman that can bring them peace. And a man should absolutely look for a woman that can bring peace. Even the Bible tells us that a man that can't find peace in his home, he will go on the rooftop, just to search out and seek out peace from, his house if the woman is creating an environment that is not peaceful. So we understand where a man comes from when he is stating that he needs a woman who can bring him peace. However, God began to deal with me regarding a woman that is loved correctly. I was having a conversation with myself and I was dealing with a recent relationship that has just recently ended. And I'm going to be a little open and honest and a little more open than I normally am. But I was kind of beating myself up just about some of the things that I have done and the ways that I have carried myself. And God was dealing with me and He was telling me, Sheena, you have to understand better ways of self control, of how to love a person, even when things don't go your way, how to respond without being angry, how to, be ye angry and sin not. The Bible tells us that just because we're angry, that's not a justification for us to still sin. Sin by hurting the other person, sin by mistreating someone because things didn't go our way. And so we understand that even when we're angry, even when we have been wrong, we still do not have a right to mistreat the other person. And so I was saying, okay, God, I hear what you're telling me. He was telling me that I have to understand better ways, healthier ways of managing my anger and my emotions when in relationship with someone else. But he also began to show me something from a different perspective. So he told me, he said, Sheena, I know you. I know you. God knows us. He formed us. The Bible tells us that He, before we were formed in our mother's womb, He knew who we were. So He knows who we are. He knows what we think. He knows how we feel. He knows what it takes for each and every one of us individually. And so when I was having this conversation with God, He began to show me that although I do have to learn better ways to manage myself and my behavior, and in no way am I justified in that, but He also began to tell me that it's okay and that I shouldn't beat myself up too much because I know you and I know what you need. And what you need is to be loved correctly. To be loved correctly. A woman that is loved correctly. This was so good to me that I had to write it down. So I'm going to be every so often looking over here and reading some notes that I wrote because it was so powerful to me and I felt like it could really bless and impact some others who, may be interested. And so I wrote some notes down, so I may reference these here in the next few minutes. God began to tell me that when a woman is loved properly, she has the power to be exceptional. She has the power to be an exceptional woman when she's loved correctly. He began to show me that throughout my life, I haven't always received the correct kind of love. And as a result of not receiving the correct kind of love, it causes not just me, but other women to respond in ways that are not always peaceful. So a man is always looking for peace, and he's always seeking after peace and a peaceful home and a peaceful environment. But if a man does not understand how to cultivate an environment in which a woman is loved properly, then he won't get that peace that he's looking for. And then he went a step further with me in showing me the Proverbs 31 woman. We've heard this scripture quoted so many times. We hear men reference this woman. This woman is goals, if we ever had any. She gets up in the morning, and I have it here in front of me. She gets up. She prepares the day. She's doing all these things even before her house is awake. She's seeking how to make money. She's making these beautiful garments for her family. She's going out into the stores, and she's selling, and she's doing all these things, and she's just the epitome of the perfect woman, the perfect wife. And we've heard this so many times. We've heard about this Proverbs 31 woman. But what God began to allow me to see was, what was her husband like? This is something I've never heard spoken before. What was her husband like? So this here is what I begin to write down from the conversation that I had with what God was showing me through revelation. He gave me an understanding. It says, I'm going to take my time. So he told me that he knows me. And I know that a lot of your behavior is a result of not being loved correctly. In no way am I justifying my behavior. Women, we do have to take responsibility for ourselves. But what I want you to see is, just if you could grasp this just for a minute, if a woman is loved correctly, it says a woman that is loved correctly has the potential to be exceptional because she has security in her union with her mate. A woman that feels validated and trusting of her love and her relationship with her significant other has no reason to be irrational or confrontational. She will be at peace, and as a result, her entire house will be at peace. Why? Because she's being loved correctly. She's getting the validation from her man. She's not confused or misled about the situation because he has given her the security of knowing that she's number one in his life. She doesn't have to fight for anyone else's attention, or she doesn't have to fight for his attention from anyone else because he has made her number one priority in his life. They have a trusting relationship. They trust one another in their union. So she is able now to walk in excellence and be the peaceful woman that he needs because she's secure. The number one thing women are looking for is security in their relationship with their man. I want to feel secure. I want to feel like this is it. I don't have to question my position in your life. You have made it clear that I am number one, that I'm top priority. As a result, you're going to be top priority in my life. And I'm going to create a environment and a foundation that is peaceful, that is loving, and that is committed. I'm going to be committed to you. It says, how did, rather, the Proverbs 31 woman, her husband, how did he treat her? It says he had to be. He had to be a man who understood how to love a woman correctly. He had to be. Because for her to be so excellent in everything that she did, there's no way that she was a woman who was married to someone who didn't understand how to meet her needs emotionally. He didn't understand how to create an environment in which she felt trust or felt validated or felt, secure. It says he definitely understood how to love her correctly. I'm sure they had a mutual understanding of respect, love, and commitment in their relationship. She wasn't left invalidated or questioning her position in his life. And as a result, she was everything to him and their family that she could be. So the point that I want to make in this is that a woman that's loved correctly will be that peace. She'll be that peace we often hear men speak of. God put the man as the head of the house. He's the head of his wife. He's the head. There's a reason why he made the men the head. He wants you to understand your responsibility as head of your household. Your first responsibility is your wife. And you have to understand how to love your wife correctly. Because when you do love your wife correctly, as Christ loved the church, you will find that peace that you are looking for. Oftentimes I hear this so many times, that a man just wants peace. But have you considered what you have done and what role you have played in grooming your woman to be that peaceful place, dwelling place that you need? Have you loved her correctly? Have you understood why? Have you dealt with the root of why she's angry or why she's upset? Are you just chopping it up till she's crazy and she's tripping again? There she go again. Or are you looking beyond the anger and the behavior and saying, okay, what's really going on with her? Why is she angry? What started this? Have you taken the time to sit down with her and try to figure out what's going on in her head? God began to show me that a lot of the ways that I would act, the way that I would react and respond in anger and do these things, a lot of it was rooted in something deeper that was never acknowledged or addressed. As a result, this is the response now, is the anger, but no one took the time to understand where did it come from. Why? Because I wasn't being loved correctly. And I'm not justifying, again, our behavior. Like I said, again, women, we do have to step up and understand that we have to have self-control, and we have to understand how to still do what's right at the end of the day. But what I'm saying is that a woman that is loved correctly is powerful. She's powerful. She's going to be what you need her to be, because you are what she needs you to be. Think about it and have a great evening. I may be doing more of these soon, so stay tuned.